Attention please. The time has come.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Are you ready?
It's a new year, new era, new soul and taste. All in SRFM, Saudi Radio.
Hola, mis amigos, and welcome, beautiful people, tuning into SRFM Saudi Radio, the heart of KSA, and welcome to your every single day show, The Ride Home. But it is Wednesday, and that means it is the weekend prep. Hope you guys are having a good time and enjoying your day, and hopefully you are already in the rhythm of the weekend vibe. Hey, we're helping you out today, as we always do every Wednesday, because it is Wednesday and then it is Thursday and Friday. Ooh, that's what it means, that it's already the weekend. You know, psychologically and mentally, just having it in your mind, it's like a state of mind. Like you put it, you are ready for the weekend. Even if you start singing that song from Sunday, it is weekend already, right?
Exactly. Hello, KSA. How you doing? I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful day. And it is Mohsin Bakri behind the microphone giving you that great intro. And it is myself, Rakan Sharif, also behind the microphone. And behind the controls, we have Mr. Salim Al-Ghamdi. High-fiving.
You're adding to the rocking, my friend. You're rocking it, my friend.
Exactly. We always try to rock it here at Saudia Radio. And look, what we do on a Wednesday is we try to get you ready for the weekend, to get you ready for the weekend vibe, to get you in the mood.
Yes.
And that is getting you ready. But today we also have something special, and that's got to do with spontaneity.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and we have got an adventurer, a person with a free spirit. Is that a good thing to say about you? Yes?
I think it's a good introduction, yes.
Yes?
Thank you.
All right, and we have in the house with us a special guest today. His name is Daniel Nemeth, yes?
Correct.
And he is from Hungary, and he is in Saudi Arabia hitchhiking.
Yes.
Check that out. Such an adventure. This is going to be a good show. It's going to be a good time. Do listen and do have a good time while you're listening. It's not a class.
The energy is just going through the wavelengths, my friends, and hitchhiking and sporting and whatnot, and just getting yourself pumped up for the weekend and all of the excitement, right? You got it. We've got it.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me here, and also having me in this country.
You are very welcome, and thank you for coming as well. We really appreciate it. You are from Hungary, yes?
Correct, yes.
The capital is Budapest?
Yes.
What's the climate like in Hungary?
And little better than here, I would say. Not that hot.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
Is it? It's Europe.
It's gonna be cool. I mean, even during the summertime, it's a bit culpable than here. I mean,
yeah,
at least, right?
Yeah, it can get sometimes hot during summer months, but we can cope with that. Yes.
Yes, and you don't have a desert in Hungary, do you?
No.
Okay, I see.
Not even in the surroundings.
Okay, so this is going to be
kind of a different adventure for you. It's a new one. It's a new and different scenery, different place, and different kind of culture and whatnot.
I'm sure you've been to plenty of deserts before, but this will be a nice experience, hopefully, and we can't wait to hear all about it.
I can't wait either.
Thank you very much for being here, and let's go to some more music.
Oh,
more
yeah.
music. Always
Yes.
more music. Yes, let's go. We shall be back shortly. All right, ladies and gents, and we are back, and we are prepping you for the weekend, because it is all about the weekend vibes. And this weekend in KSA, we've got something super special, and that is the F1.
Oh,
We've got something super special, and that's the F1, the drivers, the races, the speed, and the Jeddah Corniche circuits. And yeah, so just a quick thing, they've got a couple of concerts coming in, yes, and Wiz Khalifa is coming. They also have Black Eyed Peas. They also have a few more things. I'll get into it a bit more later. I'll tell you why later, because there's a few things that I'm there's a bit of information about this. So this is the big thing that's happening this weekend, but there are also other things that are happening this weekend. So for example, in Al-Ula, there are a few things that you can experience in Al-Ula this weekend, and we will get into that as well later on.
Yep.
And they've got a few fitness things happening there. That's really cool. And they do have also, some culinary activities, some fitness activities, and I believe there is also some music going on in the area this weekend.
And cultural, let's just say, tour and whatnots around the Al-Ula. I mean, it's a place to actually to go to and not to miss it.
And Riyadh season is beginning to come to an end.
Yeah,
which is sad.
It's sad, but winter is over, kind of. I mean, it's extending its stay, let's just say, which is pretty nice, right?
It is pretty nice. And Ramadan is also coming up, which is also a nice thing. It's a nice kind of a season in Saudi Arabia. Yes. And then also after that, we will begin to have Jeddah season, and we will be welcoming in the Jeddah season. So that's also something that is we're looking forward to as well. And there are also other events that are happening in and around KSA this weekend.
Yes.
And look, we're going to help you plan for all of those things, for sure. And we'll tell you a few movies and films here and there that you can go out and see this weekend that will be coming out tomorrow, and some of the good ones that have been out for a while now.
For a few weeks, yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
they're worth watching if you haven't already. They're still in the cinema, so yeah, you can plan ahead and for it, yeah.
And look, all of this is very entertaining, but more importantly,
yes,
I am very intrigued by Daniel. Okay, I am a person who is really organized, super organized, okay, and I like to know every single detail, what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, by the minute, by the second, and all of that.
Before taking actions? Yeah, I know you, buddy.
Yes, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He knows quite well, And at this, and then today we have Daniel, and Daniel, you've got some amazing stories and an amazing philosophy, and I am super intrigued by it. It's baffling to me. Honestly, it is baffling to me. But we will get into that after a while. But we will start off simply with tell us a bit of a background about you and how long you've been in KSA.
Okay, so hi everybody who listens to me. I actually arrived to Saudi Arabia 1 week and 1 day ago. I started my journey from Jordan, and basically I would say 99% of this journey I made until Jeddah by hitchhiking. The only section that was the exception of this was I took the bus from Medina to here to Jeddah, because it's usually very difficult and complicated to get out of a big city. It's just too much hassle to do. So I took this bus, but all the way from Amman to Medina it was hitchhiking, and it took 2 weeks.
So from Amman, so what you did is you flew from Budapest to Amman in Jordan.
Yes, exactly.
And then and how will this trip continue, and how will it end?
Inshallah. We are going to see. Well, if everything goes as the plan, I'm going to fly back to Europe in the beginning of April, so not much time left actually. I'm keeping it very flexible, and I don't know for most of the nights where I'm going to sleep, including tonight actually. So yeah, I the only thing I can say is that I will have to try to get to Abu Dhabi by April. I will try to.
So what you do is you bought the ticket from Amman, from Budapest to Amman.
Yeah.
And then your return ticket is from Abu Dhabi to Amman. Yeah?
No,
to Budapest, sorry.
Actually, to Bosnia-Herzegovina. It was much cheaper. It makes my life more complicated, also more adventurous, because then when I arrive to Bosnia, I will have to hitchhike again back to my country. That will be an additional few hundred kilometers. And yeah, I didn't bring too much jackets with me here to the Arabian Peninsula, which I already regret actually. But I will really regret it when I'm in Bosnia in beginning of April in the mountains and trying to hitchhike through these Balkan mountains. That will be chilly. Yeah, I will find some solution for that.
Yeah,
maybe I will get myself a nice Saudi jacket.
You could take it as a souvenir as well with you.
Yeah. I'm considering that.
That's a good idea.
That would be quite a sight in Bosnia-Herzegovina to hitchhike in a Saudi jacket.
That would be really cool. You know, there are some Saudi jackets that are really warm, really warm. It's like you're being. It's like a sauna.
I see some.
I'm sure. Yeah, you've seen them. Yeah. And okay, so from Amman you came to Tabuk, yes?
Yes.
And in Tabuk it's a bit cooler than it is in Jeddah.
Yeah, it is.
It is, and especially in Jordan, it was much colder.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but actually last week when I was there, around Amman and in the plateau, like above the Dead Sea, it was actually sometimes below zero in the night.
Wow,
so
nice.
yeah, it even snowed.
Okay.
I didn't see the snow itself, I have to admit, but the locals told me that behind that hill, they pointed to a hill, it's snowing. So I believe them.
And this is quite cold, so I'm sure the evidence is like, yes, I need to believe them. Fair enough. And they've got the jacket. They've got the similar jackets as well.
In Jordan,
the ones that are
the heavy ones, the very, very heavy ones.
And they're wool inside, right?
Yeah.
They're completely wooled out, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
This is so interesting.
I didn't buy any because I would rather just feel cold for a few nights than carry, I don't know, additional 2-3 kilograms with me for the entire 1 month journey.
Yeah,
Maybe
the lighter it is, the better for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Actually, to be lighter on the way. I mean, you don't want to overstuff your jacket.
You know, when you go out to such a long-term journey, you somehow value over the things again. Does it worth me to bring it with me for the value of this item, or is it just an extra weight? So sometimes less is more. When you have everything you have is in your backpack, then you try to have only the essentials.
Yeah, necessary stuff just to evaluate before you even buy anything. I mean, it's kind of a minimalism, but at the same time, you would buy something just in case, maybe one thing. You would sacrifice, let's just say, the lightweight for one thing, just in case if something happens. Plan ahead.
For example, let me tell you this. Back in 2018, I spent how long was that? Almost 3 months hitchhiking through Asia from Thailand to Kazakhstan. And in some parts of China, it was also this time of the year, March, April. In some parts of China, it was so cold that I couldn't imagine earlier. And coming from Thailand and warmer areas, of course, I didn't prepare for that. So actually, there I bought this traditional Mao Zedong jacket. Do you picture this big green vest from shoulders to the toes? It's very heavy. It's like a blanket. This is what Mao Zedong was wearing.
Okay.
They still sell it in some military shops in China. And I thought that this is the kind of thing that is also like a souvenir and also a blanket and a super cool thing to put on me.
Lifesaver.
So yeah, there are some exceptions when I actually add to my material things.
Beautiful. That's a lot of experience. I mean,
this is impressive.
Yeah.
I tell you what. When I travel, I overpack.
Yes, honestly, we do a lot.
Honestly, if I'm going to England, wherever I'm going, even if I'm going to Riyadh, let's say,
it feels as if we're migrating instead of just traveling and going back home. It's just for a few days or months if you actually plan for an activity. It feels that we just bring the home with us.
Yes,
travel.
I might need this. I might need this.
Yes.
I'll bring this or this, and I'll see what I feel on the day, and I'll see what I want to wear.
Yeah.
And you're saying that...
For me, I'm saying that I bring what I know that I will definitely need, and I will suffer the consequences if I need something that I decided to leave at home. You can survive without a razor or anything, basically. Or if it's very important, I can just buy one.
I see.
That's another thing. Yeah, if it's important, you can buy it from a local place that you actually pass by, so you don't have to overstuff your bag as you're hitchhiking. And then if you find that something is just missing, then you can actually find places nearby and you buy it. Yeah.
Or exchange. In Africa, I did some exchanges. I didn't buy things, but I exchanged. I gave some medication, for example, for a cool-looking T-shirt. Things like this actually happened.
You must have some incredible.
And these were most of the times not initiated by me. It was the people who wanted to trade, who wanted to look into my backpack. What do I have as a exotic European white person here? And then we actually traded some things. I have some African clothes that I got like that.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Probably look like a merchant, like just sort of walking
Yeah, a little
by.
bit like
that's-
that. Exactly.
We got more, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. This is so exciting, actually, to witness and just to kind of grasp. I mean, if you're just thinking about getting into hitchhiking and just getting into these kind of activities, hey, this is beautiful to kind of grasp and just taking notes and whatnot. I mean, it's kind of an inspiration for everybody who's planning to do something like this.
Definitely, and I'm sure you've had human interactions that some of us have probably never experienced.
With different cultures and whatnot, yeah.
Not just that, no, kindness. And I'm sure you exhibited it and also received this.
Yes, very much. When you travel in this way, hitchhiking, and I mostly stay with locals, it is inevitable that I'm going to meet the local population. I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to learn about their culture, their personality, their habits. And I must tell you that one thing I really enjoy in traveling is that every country you name, I have some pre-existing ideas. Most of the times wrong. And when I get there and I meet the first 30, the first 40, 50 people, and I just realize that they are the same very nice, kind, warm-hearted people that I assumed in other places. And I really enjoy, consciously destroying these stereotypes within myself.
Yeah.
That I go to a country and yeah, I enjoy breaking down these walls in my mind.
Beautiful. Let's hear more of this after the break, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. This is The Ride Home, the weekend prep, the weekend special, you can say. And we are back, Miss Amigos, to The Ride Home, to the weekend prep, the weekend special, you can say. Only on The Ride Home, and this show comes to you live every single day from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on SRFM, the heart of KSA. And today is a special day.
Yes, and we want to hear more from Daniel. A lot more, yes.
Yes.
During when the music is playing, when we are off air, we are conversating with Daniel non-stop. So it's definitely a joy, and you are a breath of fresh air, my friend. You truly are, and it's. I tell you what, I believe I have met a person from Hungary in the past, but you are the first person that I actually sit down with and spend a lot of time with. So it's definitely a pleasure, and I enjoy getting to know more about you and your experiences and your stories. And I'd love to hear more about, how do you do this, man? I'm just thinking to myself, look, the spontaneous thing, I'm organized, it has to be done in a certain way and all of that. And then there's only the necessities. This is like, I carry 2 shaving machines, just in case.
One of them may be broken. Breaks on the road.
What if it doesn't charge? What if that outlet doesn't work in that place? So yeah, but it's comfortable traveling. Yeah, so I'm going to a hotel, so that it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
But what you're doing, and okay, there was something that we did speak about before, and that was not knowing and letting go of not knowing what the future holds. Yes? So this is a part of the allure for you, the part of the attraction for you, is it?
It's part of the philosophy, I would say, and it's a chicken or the egg question for me. What came first, my philosophy or my lifestyle? But somehow they developed from each other in the years, during the years. The thing is that when you travel, you always put yourself to unknown, foreign situations.
Yes.
You never know 100% what's going to happen. Sometimes it causes stress. Sometimes you actually literally don't enjoy the moment. But what I noticed is that after these moments of negative experiences comes always the most positive ones. If I told you the 100 most exciting and memorable stories from my past 10 years, most of them would start with me not knowing where I'm going to sleep, or me being stuck on the side of the road without speaking any of the local languages, or not having a map of the area. That's very bad for me. I'm a geographer. Without a map, I feel lost.
It's ironic, but it's...
Yeah. So really... it's the experience. It's not that I wanted to believe in this, or I read motivational books or something and then I adopted a philosophy from outside. No, it's really just my everyday life experience that however hard it seems now, when I'm over it, it's going to be a matter of joke, something to tell to my friends, to my grandchildren later, and something that's just going to be another crazy story. And this is how I approach now the future, from the perspective of the future of the future, that it's just going to be an amazing good story.
Yeah, storyteller as well. Yeah, I mean, having those experiences to pass it on is just something that is just phenomenon.
It is definitely, and I do want to say something. But when we were speaking earlier, you did say that not knowing, that letting go of that allows you, for example, when you were talking about not knowing where you are going to sleep tonight, but you do know one thing, and that's when you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be a good memory.
Yes. Inshallah.
And knowing the destination
so, yes.
as well, and knowing the destination even at that time, or just winging it.
So it's not true that I don't plan anything. I love maps. I like to read about history and cultures and places in general. So when I have an idea of traveling to somewhere, I actually read a lot about that area. I have a basic understanding of the country. I have coordinates of the points of interest in the country, but I'm not sticking to a concrete plan that I need to be at this city at this date and visit this museum at that time. Rather, I will just have it as a support in my pocket, and then let's see what the local situation will bring. A lot of times I actually visit places that I didn't read about before, even though I do extensive researches, and I love staring at maps and reading articles and everything. But then it's usually just the local people. Yes, it was yesterday. The guy who picked me up when I hitchhiked, he just took me to a very old dam. He told it was like 1,000 of years old dam I'd never heard about.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and it was a new experience at that time, because you didn't know that you would actually see it and know about it.
Of course, not until just a few minutes before when he said that there is something like 5 kilometers from the road, would I like to see? Then I said yes. And the same with this talk here tonight. Like 5 hours ago, I didn't know that I'm going to meet you guys, or I didn't know that there is this radio program even. I must say that I also didn't know that it was Wednesday until your introduction.
That is all right. And look, I'm super impressed. And wow, man,
you know what it sounds
knowing,
like?
Mate, I've known about today, and I've prepared for today for like 6 days now. You know, so
usually I'm a spontaneous person rather than planning myself, but this is another level, and it's just like the gamer side of me that plays a lot of games. It's like a superhero in a video game, traveling here and there and just to getting XP points and whatnot and leveling up. And it's I mean, it's cheesy and it's kind of a nerdy kind of example, but it makes sense in my head. Thank you.
I feel honored.
Okay, so you also said you are a geographer.
Yeah.
So, and
by passion.
By passion. Okay, good.
And professional. I work as a cartographer, making amazing maps. That's what I do in my non-traveling time.
Okay, so a cartographer. Please let us know what that is.
Making maps.
Creating maps, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tricky because when I'm trying to explain what I work to people who don't really speak English, when I say cartographer, the first thing they ask is if it's a photographer, and it sounds similar, but not.
I think it's the grapher part of that.
Yeah.
Just stuck
I should find a synonym like map maker or the map guy or something like that. Yeah. That would be cool.
Is it like the digital ones? Is it the ones we would find, for example, on the maps that we have on the apps on our phones and stuff, like Google and the other ones?
You would never find these maps because I'm only doing it for my country, for Hungary, Hungarian maps.
Yeah.
But yes, it's the GPS like navigation maps, online data.
Okay,
yeah.
that is cool.
I don't know why I
Impressive.
pictured it drawing. You know, that would be actually a lot cooler. You know, if you draw the map, that would be kind of interesting.
That
Based on
is
the
how it used to be,
experience.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, few hundred years ago, and but it would be cool, yes.
And I do know one thing about like very old maps, hundreds of years ago, how accurate they were. That there was a certain accuracy to them that you know, some maps might not give that much attention to detail, but this is very interesting. So when you do carry maps with you, yeah,
Yes,
or are you just
of
on
course.
your is it through your phone?
It's on my phone only, yeah.
Okay, all right then.
Earlier I used to have paper maps before I had smartphones, of course. Either could work, really. It's just I already have the phone in my pocket, so it's again about the limited number of stuff that I like to carry with me. Earlier I actually even collected maps, because I always bought a paper map when I arrived to a new country, and then I just kept it as a souvenir. So I have I don't know how many hundreds of cool looking maps at home.
I was thinking of asking this question: do you find it more adventurous to have paper maps rather than, you know, a phone? Is it more enjoyable to kind of experience that the margin of error, and you know, that you might actually go the other road instead of this road because you have a paper map? And
Somehow,
I mean, it's kind of an adventurous and an extra, let's just say, time to learn about maybe something that might actually come out of nowhere, maybe, or something like that.
I'm impressed by this. Just go ahead.
So this is like comparing traditional books and e-books. That every rational reason is for the e-books, but if you go about sentimentality and how it feels and you know, the whole experience, then books really still have some additional value that people still buy books. So it's I think the same with the maps.
It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And do you say, so whenever you go to a country, you like to collect the local maps, yeah, the paper ones?
I used to do that, not anymore.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so what souvenirs do you take now?
So in the beginning, I did collect some maps or flags or whatever I found. Now it's been reduced to just getting one single piece of fridge magnet for my family's fridge.
Yeah.
That's almost like a tradition that I'm not daring to break, because they expect me to bring the new magnets. Other than that, no, I really not really getting too much things. Only the essentials, as I said. For example, a jacket of Mao Zedong is quite a souvenir, if you ask me.
Yes, definitely. And, fair enough. And it is quite a heavy one, isn't it?
Indeed.
So and I want to ask you, what does your family think of this?
Well,
First off, are you married or not?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't be allowed to do this if I was.
Makes sense, man. You're gonna be having a partner with you, I mean, if you're married.
I mean, it might be something that you would do with your wife in the future, maybe.
Actually.
Yes, and I do want to ask. So your family, for example, your parents, yes, and a brother, a sister, what do they think?
Well, it's been more than 10 years since I started to travel in this way. So, and it hasn't been really like one day to the next thing. It's been a process for me, for them. They still vary a lot, even if I'm just traveling within Hungary or just the neighbor countries or anything. It's not really about the location where I go or how far I am. It's just I have to text from time to time.
It's a parental thing. I mean, it's understandable.
but they accepted that this is my passion. They are very nicely understanding it. So
very supportive.
Yes,
and it's very much appreciated. I mean, it's your passion, and you're learning, and you bring that experience as well with you back home. And
what a guy, man!
You can do something wonderful with this.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Look, I appreciate it. I feel quite lucky, and I do appreciate it.
Likewise here.
Yeah, and you have opened up a window in my mind that has probably been shut off, you know, and locked off. So I do appreciate that. We are going to go for some more music, and when we come back, a few more questions. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
We appreciate it, man.
Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back, mis amigos, to the ride home, to this special edition / episode / prep because
Yep.
it's a special day. It is a very special day, and I think we going to ask this question. I think a lot of people are trying to actually get. I mean, probably a lot of people have this in their minds. How did you start it, and what made you take this decision? Because it's very adventurous, and a lot of people don't want to step out of the comfort zone. So it's something amazing to know, and maybe to motivate a lot of people as well.
It's a very valid question, and I have to comfort everybody. I didn't start with hitchhiking in Saudi Arabia and sleeping on the roadside. It's been a step-by-step, it's been years. So actually, until for the first 18 years of my life, I was quite normal. I traveled inside of Europe time to time, neighboring countries. And I had the honor of spending 1 month in Germany for a learning camp where I met a lot of internationals, actually even a Saudi girl. And there was a boy from China that I became good friends with. And we figured out that his winter holidays, he was studying in Germany. We figured out that our winter holidays are going to be the same 2 weeks, and that it doesn't really make sense for him to fly back home to China for 2 weeks. They don't even celebrate the Christmas. So yeah, and then we just figured out that it's the best if he takes a train and visits us. So it was his first Christmas by us. And the next summer, his parents invited me back. They paid for everything, and I just realized that actually they are quite powerful people. They paid for everything for me in China.
Okay.
And that was the first time that I took a plane alone, and really it was such an interesting experience to go to a new country, to experience new culture and everything. So on the way there on the plane, I had this worry that this is going to be the big 2 weeks of my life that I will have to remember until the end of my life, and that I have to enjoy every moment of it. I really cannot afford to say no to anything. I need to try and just fill up the whole 2 weeks. And on the way back home on the same airlines, I had the idea that this really shouldn't be the 2 weeks of my life. I really should keep traveling and do this for the rest of my life. So on this plane, I pledged myself that I'm going to use every bit of money, time and energy that I have in the rest of my life to explore new cultures, to go to different places, meet new people, try different food, learn about geology, learn about history, religions, everything. And then I had to, of course, understand that I'm not going to get invited to every places. So, and this is when step by step I started to take down from the comfort and down from the expenses, and I started to hitchhike out of necessity. And then it just turned out to work and to be adventurous and fun. So now I'm doing it more of a hobby. And it was like this really, that from journey to journey, it was just more and more adventurous, and costing less and less, and then in the end it was the adventure that really kept me in this kind of travel style.
Beautiful. I mean, it's very inspiring. And I think making impressive. A pledge makes it more impactful. I like what you said, that it made a pledge, and it's very, very cool.
Exactly. All right, we are going to go for some more music, and we shall be back shortly with a bit more about this story. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, very incredible. Yes, now we can tell the weekend vibes got through you, Daniel. You brought it to us, by the way. That's an extra thing, so thank you very much for that. And we can see that it's just roaming around the studio here and just going back and forth. I mean, it's isolation, but we can see it bouncing.
Yes, that is for sure. And he's been dancing a little bit, so we definitely enjoy that. And yes, the music is coming through and stuff. I do want to say... this is very interesting what we are talking about, and the idea of hitchhiking.
Yeah.
You know, look, we've heard about hitchhiking when we were young, and we were told never to do this. You know, so how did you decide? Yeah, you know what? No, this is not.
You know,
the horror movie they spoke about.
Yes, exactly. I think for 90% of people, when I say hitchhiking, either the horror movies or they confuse it with hijacking, which is also not good. So these are the two most probable responses to what do you know about hitchhiking. either they know what it is and they think it's dangerous and crazy and bad, either they don't know and they still think it's crazy and dangerous and bad.
Yes.
So there is no good way out of this one. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I also didn't start it like I woke up one morning and let's try to hitchhike. I was on my journey and running low on the budget, and I just decided that I heard about this before. I googled it. It seemed like a concept that people still talk about. So let's try. It doesn't cost anything to stand on the road and put up a thumb. I stood there for I think 2 hours before I gave up, and I went back to the city to take a bus anyways. But the next day I tried again, and then somebody stopped in like 10 minutes, and then I just from then on if I don't have to, for example, catch a flight, or if there's nothing very important to do in time, to arrive in time, I usually travel by hitchhiking. So even in my own country, if I have to travel between cities or something, let's say I live in a small village, and everything that every service is going to the doctor or dentist or anything requires me to go to the big city. And if it's really not something very, very, very important that I have to be there in half an hour from now, then I just depart a little earlier, give myself flexibility, and I hitchhike. Just for the adventure, because with this I save maybe like $50, so this really doesn't make sense economically. It's just I got addicted to the adrenaline.
That is really nice, and the fact that you're meeting different people, and most of these people are probably in I would say have a kind of a sense of humanity, a sense of kindness, and so on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if it's a different feeling. I don't hitchhike, of course, but the feeling of riding with someone just from the local in an area and something like that, it's something that does bring humanity, that people help out without the thoughts of just getting something as a compensation, like money, to drop you here or something like that. Some people actually do that for just as a charity work and whatnot. And it feels so good. It feels so good from both sides. I mean, that you're being helped, and the other person, if he helps you just out of that they want to help you, it feels so good. Because I know a lot of people who do that, just picking up picking up random people that they pass by.
Connect me up with them, maybe.
He's from Mecca.
Yeah.
Okay, Mecca is it's a city off of Jeddah, and during Ramadan season and during Hajj season, what happens is a lot of people who live locally, they start to help people around. They start to drive people around. Some of them take compensation, some of them don't want the compensation, but in general, it's a general act of kindness.
Yes,
and it's
just a contribution that people come from all over the world just to do the rituals and whatnot. So it's just helping them to make it a lot easier for them, and it's something as a charity work and act of kindness.
This thing that you mentioned earlier about hospitality and the friendliest people, it's actually also I really think that when I travel in this way, hitchhiking is already, or putting up your thumb is already an amazing filter to meet the best of the country, because those who stop, they are really the people who are open for somebody who is visibly foreigner, who is helpful, very nice people, and in the end I just meet the best people from every country that I visit. It feels amazing.
That is very important. That's like a concentrated bit of information right there. The people that are going to stop are probably the best ambassadors of that area. It
doesn't necessarily work the other way, because a lot of the best people don't even know what it means when somebody stands on the road with a thumb up.
Yes.
Or maybe they just don't have place because they already picked up so many people before me. Or they are full with goats. There were some cars actually before in near Tabuk that picked me up. There were only goats inside, and of course one driver, and then they told me to. So yeah, it's you never know the reason why somebody can or cannot stop. So
of course, yes, of course.
It doesn't mean that those who don't stop are bad people or
Yeah,
something.
it's not a rule of, like a rule or a...
Rule of thumb.
Yeah,
let's call it like that.
Yes, but it is a rule
Accurate.
of thumb, kind of, that they are generous people, kind people
Yes,
who
yes,
do stop.
Amazing people, yes. I met so many amazing people from Africa to Scandinavia to China, India, wherever I travel. It's just amazing, and I feel small in this world of kindness, you know.
I feel you because I just remembered that one time I put my car at the garage, you know, to get it maintained and everything like that, and I couldn't actually ask for a taxi to come and pick me up because the signal is just something wrong with it. I have no idea. So I had to walk for about half an hour just to get outside because it's just really far away. And without actually having my thumb, you know, just asking for a taxi, somebody just stopped as I was walking. He said, "Come in." All right, thank you. And then he just dropped me close to where I want to go. And I said, "How much?" He says, "I don't need anything."
That happened with me so many times.
Yeah.
Especially here in the Arabian countries. Yeah.
It's a wonderful
amazing.
feeling. Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling when you don't ask for it, but people actually pitch in to give you, you know, to help you out or what.
Let me tell you something. The day when I arrived here, I arrived to Hakl, which is a small, relatively
that's
small
in the
town,
north. Yeah,
near to the Jordanian border. And I arrived without Saudi currency and SIM card, and without speaking Arabic. So before that in Jordan I could use Google Translate, but without the SIM card here, not even I could do
it's
that.
not even possible. Yeah,
And surprised there were 0 exchange offices in Hakl. I wanted to exchange some money so I can actually start buying SIM card and start communicating with people. But people stopped to help me. They took me to every bank of Hakl. I visited, I think, every bank. None of them could do the exchange. But then, actually, there was this one guy. I think he was working for the police or something, but he was in civil. He didn't speak English. He gave me Wi-Fi. This is how we could communicate.
Oh, good.
He brought me back first to the border to see if there is any exchange place there. There weren't. And then he completely randomly, out of the blue and against all my polite refusals, took me all the way to Tabuk. You know, it's 250 kilometers. There and back, it's 500 kilometers. He just stopped. He just saw me on the street, just walking around with my backpack. I didn't even approach him. He stopped. He asked me if I need help, and I wanted to just exchange money.
Yeah.
And he didn't find any exchange office in his town, and he decided to give me a lift completely free of charge, just all the way to Tabuk. I felt so awkward, actually, from this Arab definition of generosity. You know, generosity and hospitality and friendliness. These are words that are there in every languages, but somehow I feel like the definition here is a little bit different from what we understand. And yeah, it was crazy, really. This was my first experience in Saudi Arabia. I arrived, and then this guy who
out of the blue,
who just stopped and he drove 500 kilometers just for me. Crazy, really. What can I say?
Well, a shout out.
How
to
can
him.
I ever repay him?
Shout out to this guy, whoever he is. Shout out to you. I mean, this is something. It's unfathomable. I mean, Thank you very much.
It's a really nice thing, and like he said, he is doing it for you, which is a very selfless thing. And look, man, I will say this, and sometimes some people here, they, with the hospitality and generosity and kindness, like you said, they do make you feel awkward, no matter how politely you refuse, and no matter what you do, you just feel like you can't repay them.
Somehow I have the suspicion that Middle Eastern people like to make me feel awkward. they like to make me feel like that, and it keeps happening from time to time. And
it's not just you. I feel that. I feel that sometimes. You know, I feel that with my cousins as well sometimes. How nice they can be. It's shocking. I have family in England as well, and they are English and so on. And how nice they are is also shocking and super nice and all of these things. But you do get that awkwardness. You just don't. you know, you feel like thank you is
not
It's
enough.
just not enough.
It's
Yeah.
just you know, you got to say
Yeah.
like very thank you. You
It's
know,
still
or
not
something
enough.
like- you know, even
Internally,
then.
you feel that it's just not
Exactly.
enough. You feel that.
So maybe you could actually clear it out for me, as you are actually from here. Is it like a real conspiracy against you that you really,
Maybe yes,
you
maybe
know,
not.
you really try to make us and me feel awkward with all of these things?
Well, I'm
Is it like
sorry,
that?
my friend. I'm gonna leave you hanging. Maybe yes, maybe no.
maybe we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's something that is in the school
I will take it
curriculum.
for a yes.
Well, let's go for some more music.
Yes, yes.
We really appreciate this, and
Beautiful.
we're loving this experience. Thank you
Very
so much,
beautiful.
Daniel.
And welcome back, Miss Amigos, to this special and amazing and incredible episode with Daniel right here. And it's amazing that you never get enough of these stories and how it is motivational, and it pushes, or these stories really push us forward to just to think that nothing can stop us. Whatever you put your mind into, as soon as you take that step and just get that decision, you're there. It's, you know, the journey of the 1,000 miles starts with a step. This
Exactly.
is literally what it is, basically, and it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, so just so we know,
Yeah.
it's like you said, it is inspirational, motivational, and a couple of those things, you know, and it is very eye-opening, let's say, and it broadens the horizons as well. Where have you been? Name some of the countries that you've been to around the world.
So I actually been living in different countries as lifestyle. Like I of course I grew up in Hungary, but since then I spent some years from my life in Scandinavia, in the Netherlands, in Africa, and currently in France. So when I'm living within Europe but not in my original country, I always travel between the two homes with hitchhiking, or, you know, partly taking a train and partly hitchhiking, or doing some, not just taking a direct flight. That's too boring. So in Europe, I visited almost everything. There are a few countries left that are yet to be discovered. And then when I was living in Africa, it was the West Africa, so basically almost everything between Ghana and Togo and Morocco. So countries like Mali and Burkina Faso and Guinea and Mauritania. Super interesting, nice countries that people normally don't know much about. I visited all of this, and I've been multiple times here in the Middle East, besides Saudi Arabia and Jordan, in Israel, in Kuwait, in the Emirates, in Iraq, Iraqi Kurdistan, and in Oman. And from Asia also, there was this one time when I hitchhiked through almost half Asia, from Thailand to Kazakhstan. So I've been around some places, Russia, in the Caucasus, even North Korea, for only 2 days. But I like to visit countries that raises the eyebrows, and North Korea was one of that, of course. So yeah, so I have been to a lot of places, still not enough, if you ask me. Although it's not really about going to a different country. You can have the same adventure. I can have the same adventure just within my own country. Very often, some of the best stories are from within a few hundred kilometers around where I was born. So yeah, it's. I think that answers your question.
It does definitely answer the question. It brings me up to the next question, which is, of course, you're not going to, you don't speak every language of the country that you have visited. So how do you communicate, and how does it work? And how funny is it as well?
Yeah, because a lot of people think of it as a barrier, because language, you can't communicate, you can't get through, which is
it's
kind of interesting.
It's a valid question. It's one of the questions that I very often get
Asked, yeah.
Yeah, and it is a barrier. It is like not knowing where you will sleep. It's a hardness. It's a difficulty that you have to come over. And if you approach it from the positive attitude and you approach it as a challenge or something fun to overcome, then it is really just a challenge and a fun to overcome. And especially nowadays, when you can have Google Translate in your pocket, or you can just, use double the time that you normally use to communicate and try to explain with your hand and feet and just but it really works. Everybody knows that if you place your two hands together and put under your ear, it means sleeping. Everybody knows how to show that you are thirsty. Everybody knows how to explain. Basic things are quite universal, actually. And one thing I want to say is that wherever I travel, even the most remote countries in Africa or in Asia, there is always someone who speaks at least some level of English. So in the end, it's just the matter of time to meet that person. Sometimes it starts with somebody trying to communicate with me, not being able, asking somebody else, also not being able, and that person calling somebody who knows somebody who actually speaks English, and then I'm just talking on the phone. So it just in the end, it's more struggle, it's more difficult, but also it's just more adventure and more fun. And really, this kind of stories, when, for example, in Kazakhstan, there was this small town. Previously, my phone was stolen. This is why I had to do things in this town. I went there. I needed to talk with the police, and in the whole town there was only one single person speaking English. She was the English teacher of the only one school, and even she couldn't speak. Like she knew some keywords. Let's put it nicely. So the police actually sent for her to the school, and from her working hours she came to the police station to be an interpreter. But I mean, really, she knew maybe like 500 words in English, and not really able to put them together. But even in these small towns like this in middle of the Kazakh steppes, you always find a solution, really.
So it's just a matter of time, as you mentioned. Just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time and patience and energy, and just approach it not from the perspective that I really need to solve this now.
Yeah.
Approach it from the perspective that, okay, I'm trying to now talk to this person. It's going to be adventurous. It's going to be interesting. Like yesterday, I actually arrived by hitchhiking to Medina, and I pre-typed a text in Google Translate, which in English read that, as you can see, I'm a tourist, I'm non-Muslim, and I would like you to please tell me exactly where can I go and where cannot I go in this city, because I try to be respectful, and I honestly just don't know. I just arrived, so I showed it to a lot of people on the street, and it was crazy. Just the experience itself to stop the people of the street in Medina and
randomly
show this. In the end, I didn't get any concrete answer. I went to a police, and he showed me the main square not to go, and then I stayed outside of there. I had a good lunch, and I took the bus here.
That is really cool. It is. And so sometimes you walk about, and you've already got that. Like a pre-written thing that you have in your mind or something like that.
Sometimes you can reuse it. Let me tell you this one. Actually, in China, what worked for me very well is to have an ID card holder, with these transparent pages where you can put your bank card and ID card and whatever.
Okay.
And I just put sheets of paper. In one side, there was an English sentence that I expected to be useful, like, I would like to eat anything for maximum 10 yuan. And on the other side, there was a Chinese translation written. So I knew which one was which. And when I needed to talk with somebody or communicate, I just like a police, flipping it from my pocket and just showing the sentence. It's very impressive. It looks cool, and people were really friendly, and they appreciated that I actually took the time to write down the Chinese text for them. So it was the time when I was in China where Google Translate didn't work. Now here I use Google Translate.
Okay.
What an experience.
It is an experience. I'll tell you what, I remember once I was trying, I was in Indonesia, and I was trying to ask for milk, and I did not know what the word for milk is. So I was in a shop doing sign language, trying to explain what milk is. Now
That's
imagine
difficult. That is very difficult.
there's me
Can you show us?
speaking to the guy saying moo, moo, milk. And he's looking at me like,
What do you mean?
and even when he said the word, I didn't know that this is the word for milk.
It's just
So it's just like, yeah, this is no
I'm
problem.
going to stay here for another
Yeah.
20 minutes or 30 minutes just trying to explain milk.
Yeah, exactly. And then after a while, somebody, I think somebody else that was working in the place
Understood.
not understood. They took me to the fridge and they're showing me, there's this, there's this, there's this.
okay.
So I just, took the milk and
left.
But it was an experience, and trying to describe milk is not fun. It is not fun. I'm telling you, there are some words that are difficult to describe, and you look a fool. You definitely look. I was saying moo to the guy, so the guy's thinking, what are you trying to say to me? These are not words. These are animal noises. What are you doing? But it was definitely an experience. So this is. Does it work pretty well? Do people get you what you're trying to say quickly through Google Translate and stuff?
Yes. That I'm not saying 100%, but it's enough to survive. It's enough to
Get by.
get along.
through,
yes.
yeah.
So yeah.
That is right.
Beautiful.
I wish I could actually speak the languages of the countries where I visit. I'm sure that I'm experiencing maybe like 1% of everything that would be otherwise open for me if I would understand everything. It's sad, but somehow your brain capacity is also limited. I speak actually English and German and French, also learning Portuguese besides my native Hungarian language. So I speak a few languages. I started to learn the Arabic alphabet also. I like to have some basic understanding of the language before I arrive, just so I know which one is the men's room, which one is the exit.
Just
this kind of things. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, man. I don't know. You've got to have a certain amount of courage. That's one word I describe it as. The spontaneity, the surprise element, and all of these things. Yeah. I remember once I met a person who said that they're going to go backpacking in Asia, and I thought that person was, a bit out of their mind. Why would you do that when you can go on a holiday that's relaxed, comfortable, and all of these things? And that person mentioned the self-discovery. This is what's important about that journey. And that person does feel like they are on a certain level that's slightly different to mine. Go ahead.
No, it's just what you say I think is very accurate, and really I feel like that a lot of times when I'm on the road, people misunderstand what I'm doing, and they think that I really had to mess up something badly in my life to sleep outside in the open air, sometimes even without a sleeping bag, and all of these things, and I have to explain myself over and over again that it's like if you see runners jogging around in the park, you don't stop them and offer them a lift with a car, because you know that it is hard for them. They are sweating. Yes, it's complicated, but this is what they enjoy. It's the same with me when I'm traveling in this way. What I need is not the comfort. It's the
journey,
toughness, the adventure, the unpredictability of the whole thing, and to not to know the end of this movie that I live. To be constantly surprised what comes next. It's really like that.
This is a strong message, I think, to break the cycle of routine, if I say so myself. Something that there is a life, that's just completely different than the lives that we actually, used to. That is something it's still unexplored in a lot of people in different ways, according to the individual's experiences. And it's just amazing just to see the different perspectives and how things can be learned from all of those different views. And man, thank you, man. It's just something that,
Yes, this is definitely an experience. And look, there are plenty of times when you've just left home and you've said to yourself, you know what, I'm just going out and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But you do it on a whole other level.
Yes,
this is you see humanity look, we haven't seen some of the things that he might have seen. I remember when it comes to generosity and people trying to help out and being hospitable, I have experienced this a lot, whether it's in Saudi Arabia, whether it's in England, whether it's in all of the countries that I've traveled to. There are always nice people in the world, you know, but there are people who go the extra mile, and they're the people that make you feel slightly awkward from the how nice.
Yeah,
It's not slightly.
It's not slightly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You are right about that. Tell us a story or two, or just an experience or two that would that stands out for you, or maybe something that is like the story you mentioned about the guy who in Tabuk and Haql, yes, it's called
yeah,
yes, and a story like that. It can be in Saudi Arabia or wherever you like.
How about after the break?
After the break, let's do it after the break.
I can think about the story.
All right then, perfect.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, everybody. Don't go anywhere.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by SRFM.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous. Do yourself a favor. Do us all a favor. When you're on the road, stay off the phone.
This was a message from SRFM, Saudia Radio.
Welcome back to the ride home to the weekend prep / the weekend special. It is the weekend because if you don't know, Danielle, Wednesday used to be the weekend in Saudi.
Yeah,
yes.
I realized you already told it a few times. Did
Did I?
And,
I'm so happy about the
now
weekend.
I am aware of it.
So it used to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and
Saturday is the
Saturday
first
was the
day.
start of the week.
I
Okay,
see.
so it was like a Monday.
in the Western, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the week starts on Sunday.
Sunday, uh-huh.
Yes, and this is something that's I won't say it's recent, but
Yeah.
it's been a few years.
For
been a few
me,
years, yeah.
every day is a weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yeah. I've got so many questions for you, man. I have so many questions.
Speaking of the weekend, do you go to the cinema like when you hitchhike and everything like that, or do you give yourself some time just to do the leisure things?
When you're doing the cartography.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm open to anything. Like really, when I'm on the road, I like to do things like accept last minute radio talks and go to rock climbing like I did a few days before, or I went to a dance class yesterday. All of these were unexpected things. A few days before that, actually, I even milked camel. I never expected that I will do it in my life, but some of the people who picked me up asked me to help and I helped. So yeah, movies and cinemas and going to a theater, it's all in this category.
Cool. Because there are two movies that maybe we can check it out.
Yes, definitely.
A movie that recently got released, which is last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend, and it's really cool.
Yes, it's Ambulance. The way I say it, yeah.
Yes.
Ambulance.
It's Ambulance, yeah.
Ambulance.
Yes, it's Ambulance, and look, Jake Gyllenhaal is in these kind of movies. He's really good.
Yeah.
He has the face for it because he's got character on his face. He can look really sad and look really happy, and all the ranges in between.
And he can look really angry as well and evil.
Yeah, and he does it quite well. You know something that is quite impressive. You know before when you said when you've got two hands under your head and you're putting it horizontally, everybody in the world knows that this means sleep.
Universal kind of a
universal
sign.
thing. Yeah. Facial language, the facial expressions, it's the same all over the world. no matter where you are from,
Yes.
it's exactly the same. So a smile in any culture is a smile, and you know, a tear is a
Frowning
tear.
and sadness and
Yes, all of these are exactly the same. So it's like an international, or let's say something that we all share when it comes to the facial expressions and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I was quite impressed when I found that out. Anyway, so yeah,
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, something to have in mind, just in case you feel that you're lost.
yeah.
You can just use that. I mean, yeah.
Look, we work at the radio, so
Yeah.
we talk a lot. This is a part of who we are. So sometimes I just talk a lot, and yeah.
No mooing.
As long as Look, now whatever country I go to, I try to find out what milk is, because I need that in the morning. Honestly, when I do wake up anyway. So, all right, another movie that is
The Lost City.
This is tomorrow.
Yes,
Which is
The
The
Lost
Lost City, yes. Starring Daniel Radcliffe and Sandra Bullock as well. So it's something going to be kind of funny,
yeah.
maybe in the romance and whatnot, but yeah, it's more action.
Daniel Radcliffe, he's the what's his name? No, he's the guy with the mustache. He's Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Oh.
Yeah, he's Harry Potter. That's Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah, so Sandra Bullock, Daniel Radcliffe, and Channing Tatum. Look, these are all stars. There's lots of fun, and it sounds like you know, maybe they need a cartographer because it's a lost city. Yeah,
Yes.
and, yeah,
That's nice one.
It's all. It looks interesting. It does look interesting. I will be honest though, Daniel. I'm sure this movie is great, and there's a lot of effort put into it. But your story is much more entertaining for us, and it was a lot more entertaining
I'm
for us.
working on the script to send to Netflix.
You should. You really should.
Maybe one day.
You know, this was something I did want to ask you. So, if not Netflix, maybe a book. But even today, people do like the visual and audio at the same time. So, yeah. This is
I will
something you
see.
should think about it. Yeah. And then that way,
If only I had the patience to sit down and not travel and then start to write. COVID was actually one of the time when I could have done it, but then I always found something else to do.
Okay. Hey,
So maybe I need to just get very old and not being able to move, and then I will actually start writing.
Well, I'll tell you what. There will be times, maybe in the future, when you are, you know, looking back at life. This would be a good time. Plus, you'll have the life experience from all of the journeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look forward to that book or that documentary. I really, really do. And
Please do let us know and contact us and let us know about this.
also, Daniel, if you would like to share your Instagram or your Facebook or something like that,
Yeah, where people can find you,
for people to follow you, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I have actually a social media presence, but what I realized here in Saudi Arabia is that it's quite useless to have Facebook. So everybody is
It's
on
almost
Snapchat.
common, yeah.
So I am not using Snapchat. I have to apologize for everybody.
That's fine.
Everybody who
Twitter?
already asked me for Snapchat in the last week, I just had to say no, sorry.
And your Facebook?
Yeah, on my Facebook I write in Hungarian, so that doesn't really help. But in Instagram, I also have a presence, and I used to not be too active on Instagram since all these friendly Jordanians and Saudi people asked to have a place to follow my adventures, and I directed to them to the Instagram because they don't see Facebook. Since then, I somehow promised to myself that this is a reason to start to be more active on Facebook, on Instagram. I even advertised this show here today.
Yes,
for the Saudi followers from the last few weeks, whoever picked me up, maybe they are listening to us now.
Hopefully they're listening.
Thank you for all of you.
Thank you for doing that as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
So this it's. It's difficult to say it with the Hungarian pronunciation, but it's Vandorful blog, so VANDOR.
It's wonderful blog, but it's in Hungarian.
In Hungarian,
so
yes. I tell you what.
We will share it.
What I will do
It's complicated to tell it, you know. Usually, I just spell it to people when they ask for it.
I'll tell you what we will do. I will add you,
Yeah.
okay, and then I will share it on my Instagram, and Martin will share it on
Yes.
his Instagram,
We
and
will
that
share
way
it.
people can
Wow.
find you and follow you, and that
you
way
so much.
you don't have to go through the pronunciation thing. And
Okay, that's nice.
we should have let him do it anyway, you know, just for the language thing. But
Yeah.
you know, we are out of time.
Look at smiling.
Yeah, Daniel. Yes, we do also want pictures afterwards if you don't
definitely,
mind. With that smile, and we really do enjoy it. And thank you very much for coming to Saudi Arabia, and thank you very much for coming to Saudi Radio as well.
Yes,
and we really appreciate it.
Is there 1 more minute left? Just
shout out.
Just because you actually promised to the listeners before the break that I will say one story.
Yes,
and I was actually quite happy that you forgot, because it's always the most difficult questions to answer, but I just don't want to leave the listeners disappointed that maybe in the break we discussed not to talk about this or anything. They would think about something conspirational. So just to satisfy this last one thing, I will just say that one time when I traveled for 2 weeks in Norway, one of the most expensive countries of the world, without using any form of money, not even calling anybody on the phone or something. I was just sleeping at local people's places and hitchhiking and taking the expired food out of the containers behind the supermarkets. And it was such an adventurous 2 weeks without using any form of money, really.
Wow, that is another level.
Yeah,
and you also did barter and exchange of goods and stuff like that.
Items,
not in Norway.
Yes.
Yeah, in Africa that is very popular. In Norway, no. The good thing in Norway is that it's super cold even in the summer. So whenever the product expires, the supermarkets puts it in the container. It's like they are putting it to a freezer, because it just gets even colder inside the metal container. So you go there and it's still the best quality thing. You just take it. It's completely legal actually, and in that way you can basically live for free in one of the most expensive, or probably the most expensive countries in this world.
It is.
I mean, for 2 weeks I did it.
That is amazing, and doing something without having money, man. Or not using money. Having that option, well done, man.
Yeah,
I am so impressed, and there are plenty of stories, and sorry we did not have enough time to share all of the stories.
Maybe another time.
It would be nice.
I wish to come back to Jeddah.
Yes, do come back to Jeddah, and
looking forward to that, my friend.
And a few more days in Jeddah, not just 1 or 2 days. Yes. Jeddah needs some time. Look, all of KSA does. To be honest, I've been to different areas, and it all has. And I know we are out of time. I am sorry. I will. Yes.
We're just happy. We're just really happy. The weekend is made right now. So, thank you very much, Daniel. We're gonna be sharing your account or social media account. So for the listeners to follow, please do follow and just go with the stories and follow the stories. I mean, it's just a phenomenon. It's just beautiful. It's something on another level. We're gonna be sharing your account, and people can actually see it. Our accounts: Muhsin Bekri 10 on Instagram and
Rakana Sharif.
Exactly. So you will find his account right there, and check the picture as well.
He was just thinking, okay, how do you spell those names? I'm sure.
No, I was actually thinking how much easier it is for you to spell it in Arabic for the Arabic ears of your listeners than me trying to say it in Hungarian word with English pronunciation for Arabic speakers.
Yes, fair enough.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. You are quite right. All right, guys.
So that was Danielle. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by SRFM. That's the Big Dipper over there, and here's the Little Dipper.
You take the balloon, and you rub the balloon on your head like this, and then it'll stick to the wall.
Brown shoes, brown belt. Black shoes, black belt.
You want to know how to whistle? Pucker your lips. You leave a little hole like this. Blow out. And that's how you whistle.
Yellow and blue make green.
Come on, Riff! Open your eyes!
Get some glasses, you idiot! Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise.
This was a message from SRFM Saudia Radio.